Hey guys,
Hi,
welcome to another video,
indeed.
and this is the theory we promised you.
Yes,
So you know the song "The 12 Days of Christmas,"
I certainly do.
and all the gifts the true love sent to me, as the song says, not me personally,
Or me.
but the me in the song.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Gifts of Christmas theory, guys. This is something we just cooked up between each other on the bus earlier this month, by the time you're seeing this video.
Yes.
So
It's an interesting theory because it all came about when I was talking about the question I included in my weakest link animation, which was in the song "The 12 Days of Christmas," how many birds feature in the last verse? Now, the correct answer to that would have been 23.
yeah, but then
It got us thinking how many gifts there were in the song as a whole.
yeah, and then with each time you sing a new verse, you have to repeat the verse before it.
Of course.
So then you just multiply and add it all up.
Yeah, so for example, if you're looking at when you add them all up, we arrived to a concluding total of 344.
344 gifts.
Now, I could be completely wrong about that, so I think I might have to just go through it again just to make sure.
Well, let's go from the beginning then and count everything and add it all together and multiply it.
So, right. So, yeah, we saved the multiplying.
Yeah.
So we got 1.
That's a partridge in a pear tree.
Then you got 3.
2 turtle doves.
Plus that.
Which is 4.
Then you add 6.
With the 3 French hens.
Which is 10.
Yeah.
Add another 10.
4 calling birds.
Add another 5. No, 15 even.
5 gold rings.
Nice. So we do 1, add 3, add 6, add 10, add 15, add 21, 28, 36, 45, 55, 66, and 70. 78.
And then, how many times does each gift appear in the song?
Yeah, and that's what they all come into. So you've got then, for example, when you've got the drummers drumming.
Well, there's 12 of those, and they only appear once.
And then you've got the partridge,
which appears 12 times.
And then you've got for example, so it just goes about. So when you've got when you get to the turtle doves and the pipers piping.
Well, there's 11 pipers piping, and they appear twice in the song.
Yep.
So that's 22.
And then you've got so the pattern then would go 12, 22, 30, 36, 40, 42, 42, 40, 36, 30, 22, 12.
It would. So if you think about it, there are 2 turtle doves, and they appear in 11 of the 12 verses.
Yeah. But that aside, it had us thinking. So when we added up all the gifts, we arrive at 344.
We do.
And then we figured out we had a theory as to how much would it all cost. I mean, the turtle doves alone are very expensive.
And they come as a pair.
Obviously.
So.
Because they're a pair of lovebirds.
And then everything else would be expensive. I mean, 1 gold ring on its own could cost like a few grand.
Well, it depends on where you get. It depends on where you get the ring from.
And they're giving 5 of them, or 40 if you add and multiply everything.
Yeah.
So.
But then also, when you come to look at it, you also need to take into account the people that feature in it as well.
And no start at the 8 maids a milking.
Yeah, so you've got 12 drummers drumming, which appear once.
12.
Then you've got the 22 Pipers Piping.
For the 11 Pipers Piping appearing twice.
Then you've got 30 Lords of Leaping.
10 Lords of Leaping appearing 3 times.
36 Ladies Dancing.
9 Ladies Dancing appearing 4 times.
And then 40 Maids of Milking.
And that's appearing 5 times for the 8 Maids of Milking. So, yes.
But then...
And then there's also the True Love. And the person that's being sung.
Yeah.
And the person that's being sung about.
So you're thinking it's 12 and 22.
Which would be 40.
Should be 34.
34.
Yeah. And then add another 30 on top of that.
54.
64.
64. Yeah.
And then add another 36 on top of that. You should know what that is.
100.
Yeah, and then add another 40 to that.
140.
Add the True Love.
So that would be 141.
And then add the person that's received all the gifts.
142. 142 people.
So, if you're thinking about that, then you also, behind all that, you need to find some cows. Otherwise, what would the maids be milking? What would the maids be milking?
Not to mention, you'd need 40 of those as well.
At least.
So...
Because otherwise, what would the maids be milking?
Exactly.
And then...
Oh, this is crazy.
But then you also need... we also need a birdhouse that's big enough to fit all the birds.
Yes. And that would be literally the size of a street.
Yeah, so if you think about it, the last 6 verses of the 12 Days of Christmas have 23 birds in each one.
Yeah.
So if you multiply that by 6...
You get...
138.
138.
Yeah, and then you add the 1, the 3, the 6, the 10 twice.
Yeah.
And then another 16 on top of that. So that would equate to 46.
It would.
And then add those together, you've got the same number of birds as the number of subscribers I have on the DMC General.
Oh, okay.
194.
So that's already 194.
And then you just be thinking to yourself, where are you going to put the swans? You need a big enough lake for all the 42 swans.
You would.
You need a big enough house to house all the 42 geese are laying.
Yeah.
It's it just comes to what it also begs the question in mind: is this all relative? Is this all realistically possible?
I don't think it is.
Nor do I, to be fair, because we not forgetting to mention that we also
need a big mansion for all the people to live in.
That's what I just said, but you also need a big enough concert hall
for
the 34 music players.
Yeah, and the 36 dancing ladies.
Yes.
So,
but then the two of those poor ladies are going to miss out because there are 2 more of them than there are of the musicians. Unless, of course, you find them partners.
Yeah. So it all becomes one big rabbit hole to jump down. Okay.
And boy, have we done that in style.
So... And that there would be the tip of the 12 Days of Christmas iceberg.
And that's... But then, wouldn't you need a big enough jewellers to fit in the 40 gold rings?
You would. You probably need 2 jewellers to work on each ring. So you probably need...
another 80 on top of that. Particularly if the true love's recipient wants them engraved.
Yeah. So... Now, how much would all of this cost in excess?
I mean, like we mentioned earlier, the turtle doves alone are very expensive. And they come in pairs.
Yeah, and you need 11 pairs of them.
Yes.
So,
And how are we going to get a partridge? We need to be, we need to have a big enough tree for the partridges so as it appears.
yeah, a partridge and a pear tree, and we need 12 of those, so we need 12 trees for them to go in.
Apparently so.
One tree for each partridge.
Yes. And then we need a big enough hen house for the French hens, because there's 30 of them. Unless I'm assuming that they're going to be free-range hens.
Well, no, we'd need to have a big enough hen house for them. And that itself would be probably the size of yet another street.
Sounds about right. It's just difficult to even comprehend how much this will all come to. I mean...
Well, okay, how much would it cost to hire 12 drummers to drum for a night?
22 pipers piping.
Yes, and how much could we pay 30 lords just to leap around?
They sound like they like to clown about. And then about the dancers as well.
And how much would it
I've
cost?
just had a thought, actually, James. But it still means the 6 ladies have to miss out.
Yeah.
What happens if we paired up the dancing ladies with the leaping lords?
That would be funny.
But still 6 would miss out.
Yeah. And that wouldn't be fair. So to book 36 dancing ladies...
And the 30 leaping lords...
Which we'd have to pay probably about a couple million to each, but just to have them perform.
Yes.
So... And they're supposing it costs £50 to hire each of the dancing ladies.
And the rest, I mean, they sound rather majestic, if you ask me.
Okay, so a couple £100 for each of them. So...
I'd say about a couple 100,000, or maybe even a couple 100 million. Well, that'd be too much, but I'd say definitely a couple 100,000.
Wow. So theoretically, that would probably cost what a person would have to earn in more than 10 lifetimes.
Sounds about right.
So I hope there's a Time Lord out there.
Yes. And then what are you going to do with the calling birds? Because they just keep calling out everyone's names.
Yeah. And
they're going to cause a racket.
They are. And they appear in... How many did we say?
9.
9 verses, so we need 36 calling birds as well. Jeez Louise. I don't think we'll have an aviary big enough.
No, because you then also got to fit in the rest of the birds.
Yeah, well, the swans would need a pond large enough to fill an entire street.
Forget a swan pond, you need a swan lake.
Well, yeah, we need a lake big enough basically to flood an entire road for that.
I don't think the neighbours would thank you, and I don't think the neighbours would thank you kindly for that.
No, they wouldn't. But it'd be the only way we could achieve. We could theoretically achieve it. And then for the geese, there's 42 of those as well.
Yeah. So you need a goose house,
and
that's big enough to fit all of them in.
Yeah, and that would take up an entire street and a half.
And the rest.
So...
Have you realised how much space a goose needs to lay its eggs?
Well, no. So, yeah.
All I can say as well is good luck trying to find a mansion with 142 rooms and a room that's big enough to fit all the instrument players and the dancers.
No, for that you'd have to actually buy out an entire street just for the people to live in.
Yeah.
So really, the true love was sending his recipient an entire street's worth of gifts. In theory.
How was that even possible?
Well, realistically, it's not possible.
No, because I'm just
So-
thinking, where would you find the partridges? They're rare. They're very rare to come across.
They are. And I don't think they're even native to our part of the world.
No, I don't think they are either.
So,
It's just
the 12 Days of Christmas iceberg is truly what it is.
that.
I don't think we can even theoretically work out what it would cost.
No.
So, it would cost all the money in the world just to be able to pull something like this off.
And the rest.
So,
Yeah, and then some.
mate, the whole universe.
Sounds about right.
We'll have to transcend space-time.
But, wow.
Wow. So that's our theory on the gifts of Christmas in the 12 Days of Christmas, guys. We hope you enjoyed it.
Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
And Merry Christmas. And have us a magical time.